the moment. There we go. So, hello and welcome everyone. I am The.Spectre and joining me is Daniel. I don't know how to refer to you. How should I refer to you guys?
My tag's Daredevil Dan, but everybody generally just calls me Dan because it's easy.
There
and
you
it's
go.
cut.
So it is The.Spectre and Daredevil Dan, and we are casting the Merita University Gaming Competition for you. Tonight we have Genji's Perfect Sayha, although I think the proper names for the two teams are... Let me take a look here. It is GPS versus Potato Stack. They haven't really put their names properly. I'm guessing Genji's Perfect Sayha is GPS, so we're going to have Potato Stack up there on the dire side. So far, pretty standard picks and... Well, not picks, but pretty standard bans coming out. They choose to first ban Wisp, so they're not looking to pick him up in the first stage. In fact, they go for a Gyrocopter really early on in the draft.
Yeah, generally you don't see Gyro first picked anymore. He's usually in the first three if they want him, but first pick, I don't think he sort of deserves first pick anymore.
Yeah, I think with the heroes that were available, something like a Visage and Nyx would be more first pick material in the kind of drafts we've been seeing recently. The Gyrocopter is, of course, always a good pickup, but yeah, not really sure if he's worth of that first pick. And you see the two next picks are the Visage and the Nyx, so two very, very strong support heroes already coming out for the Radiant side.
Yeah, also a lot of the time you see even Shadow Demon and especially Darkseer as well first picked up nowadays. I mean, the Shadow Demon's probably, in my opinion anyway, the best support hero at the moment.
Yeah.
He fits into any support sort of role, aggressive, defensive. He's great against enemy carries, especially anti-mage.
Exactly, with the scaling spells that he has that, you know, work percentage based as well as a BKB piercing slow, it's a great addition to have on any team early, mid and late game. The OD gets banned out as soon as they pick up the DK, so I would assume it's going to be a DK in mid lane. Really don't want to verse up against that Astral Imprisonment, where you really be getting pretty much nothing.
Yeah, it's impossible to face an OD in mid. There's nothing you can really do. You can, if you outskill the mid player, you can do okay. The only hero I've really seen do alright is sometimes a Nyx, if you get the upper hand early, or a Viper I've actually seen do quite well maxing the corrosive skin.
Yeah. The one hero that I've seen do very well against OD is Kunkka, because he doesn't really require his mana early on. Like, it's great if he does have it, but he's played as a mid farmer rather than a mid ganker. And the Tidebringer harass that comes out is actually quite decent, especially against OD's kind of low health pool, and of course requires no mana to proc. So to me, Kunkka is probably the best mid matchup against him at the moment. But it doesn't. The Nyx offers a lot more against an OD later game, so maybe that's more the way to go.
The mana burn just scales so well against him. All of a sudden, you're hitting like 1,000 damage for nothing.
Yeah, I remember being in a pub game where a Nyx on our team was just picking up on a Skyrath mage, and just every single mana burn on is like a 4-second cooldown and doing about 800 damage each hit. It was just insanity.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because the cooldown's so different from level to level. 28, 20, 12, and then just 4.
Yeah.
So you really can just destroy any high mana hero later game. But it's just trying to get those levels on the Nyx. If you don't give him any farm, play him as a support on a tri-lane, he doesn't really get past level 11 or 12 unless the game goes really late.
Yeah, exactly. Nyx being played more in a kind of 4 role, being the puller in a tri-lane. We'd sometimes see him mid, but I haven't seen a Nyx mid in a pro game in a very long time.
No, I haven't seen him in ages mid. He's such a strong support because he brings so much utility. He's got basically 2 stuns.
Yeah. And an invis that causes the other team to invest in Dust and Sentries, and the Weaver will also do that, so... the Weaver, very, very strong offlaner. He's been picked up quite a lot recently. Just teams really liking the movement that they can get, as well as against kind of non-mobile or less mobile heroes like Nyx. You can just kind of run circles around them. With the Geminate attack and the Swarm, it's a very strong kind of early mid carry, so it really kind of sets up the kind of playing field for your main carry to farm through and take the late game. But
yeah, one of the things that GPS are going to look out for as well, though, is the early pickup of the gem. Because they've already picked 2 invis heroes. So they might have a little bit of a hard time.
And with a tanky hero like Dragonite, you've got a pretty perfect gem carrier right there. So it's going to be hard to take him down if they do get up that early gem and he does level decently in that mid lane. Which is something that GPS are slightly lacking at the moment. They're a kind of strong mid laner. They could send a Nyx mid, but I'm thinking that they might pick up something more like, I don't know, I think probably not a Puck. Maybe a Puck to fit in with their mobile kind of strategy that they have going on now, or something like a Storm Spirit. But it looks like they're looking to be very aggressive in early and mid game.
Yeah, well, this could actually already be their tri-lane setup right now. Weaver does fit in pretty well to tri-lanes. This tri-lane, just those 3 heroes, you can see it right there, would be a really strong tri-lane for them to have. They could force it aggressive. Obviously, Visage's nuke is very good 3v3. Just from minor harass from each team, you can sort of get those stacks quite quickly. And a little engagement, and then all of a sudden you've got a free kill. Jakiro's not the easiest support to pick off, because he does have quite a lot of starting strength and a decent strength game. Gyro is quite easy to kill, and you see the Bounty Hunter picked up, so that's probably going to be their offlane, so you will probably see that safe lane Bounty Hunter along with the aggressive tri lane, but they could take it safe as well, depending what they want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would assume that Bounty would be at least the solo laner for their team, as you said, and Weaver will be that farmer in a tri lane. So it's still GPS looking for a good mid laner. It'll be probably quite odd is that the Shadow Demon hasn't been picked up yet. I think this is the furthest I've ever seen him get in any draft, not being picked or banned. And it would be a great setup for the Jakiro stun as well.
Yeah, I could definitely see Potato Stack getting him. If they want him, they'll probably have to take him now, or else he's just going to get banned.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, GPS I'm still thinking of what they would use as their mid laner. I'm like hung up on it.
Well, Quap's still in the pool, Puck's still in the pool. They could even go for a Beastmaster as mid, because it'll be against a DK, so he won't do too badly. Brewmaster is something we haven't seen very often recently in mid, and he does just fine against Dragonite as well. So their options are pretty open at the moment, because they pretty much know it's going to be a melee mid. They can run basically anything they want, and as we said before, the SD is now banned, so they can't pick that up as their 5th.
They can't, so they're going to need a decent setup stun for Jakiro, and a hero with a decent range as well. Alina's always a decent hero, but without that kind of reliable stun in a tri-lane, you're kind of gimping yourself quite a bit there. Jakiro's always great for area denial with the ice path, but still.
Something we haven't thought about as well is running the DK in the tri-lane and putting Gyrocopter in mid.
Yeah.
They could be doing, because you've got the melee stun, you've got the Jakiro ice path, so that can be followed up with the Dragonite stun, and then one more, you just have all this lockdown to pick off a Weaver. Because, I mean, he's dead if you catch him, because he's got, I think he starts with 492 health. You can kill him from level 1 if he doesn't get his Sakuchi away. Yeah. And the Queen of Pain's banned out as well, so they don't want to go up against that.
Yeah, exactly. They're really looking for trying to ban out those stronger mid lane heroes, and Quap's what they've landed on. As we said before, though, the Quap, the Storm, you know, the Puck available as well, they kind of still have their pick of mid heroes. So it's not going to be a difficult choice to pick one up. It's just, I guess, what they're comfortable playing in the current roles they have.
10 seconds to go.
Yeah, but
and it will be that Beastmaster that you mentioned before.
Feels good calling it, man. Waits feels good.
I've got to say, kind of the one weakness of GPS's strat now is that they're kind of lacking on range. They have a mid-range hero with Weaver. Visage is the full kind of 600, but the rest of the heroes are, you know, melee and Weaver being short range. It's going to be difficult to sort of engage in early until you get something like a blink up on the Beastmaster. Or the Nyx as well.
10 seconds to go.
Some of these team fights are going to be a bit bad with that Jakiro Ice Path coming through with 3 melee heroes trying to get in.
Yeah, you've got the Ice Path that's going to lock them down. They'll all be close for the cooldown as well, so it's going to be a bit difficult. They'll need to pick up, I think, Argonym's on the Beastmaster just so they have the range. With that long range stun, you can get a really easy pick off with a 950 range from Argonum, so they'll be able to close in. The bounty's a bit strange. He fits into their laning well, but who's he going to pick off?
Be a tinker
who's he going to
pickup.
kill?
Yeah, he can't really pick off that Windrunner because she'll just be able to Windrun away. The Jacaro is quite tanky, as you said before, great starting strength and gain, so I think maybe the Gyrocopter, before he kind of starts up, will be their go-to. But I think for the moment, it's just trying to accrue track gold during that mid-game where they expect to be dominating with the Nyx going around the map with the Visage and Beastmaster lockdown. So we'll introduce the teams. On the Radiant, we have HeReSY. This is, of course, GPS. We have HeReSY on the Nyx Assassin, cuddlez on the Beastmaster, Beastly on the Weaver, Daz, YOLOSWAG, muted and reported on the Visage, and Genji on the Bounty Hunter.
And over on Potato Stack, we have Gyrocopter is being played by NoOb.You, Windrunner is being played by Dr. Z, DK is being played by You Are Amazing with the Alliance A symbol in there, so he's probably a fan. Jakiro, I have no idea what his name is. And Tinker is kphoenix. Or kphoenix, or Phoenix. I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
I would say Fuini.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, but Gyrocopter did ask for a reconnect and he is back, so we'll probably see the game starting up in just a moment.
Yeah, and the lanes aren't too hard to call for GPS. They want to do an aggressive tri lane with the Visage, surely. I mean, they could go safe, but I don't think it's the right move for them. You can just play so aggressive with the Weaver and Visage and Nyx lane. You've got the stun, you've got an early slow, you've got the Sakuchi getaway, and the initiation damage. It's pretty good damage at the start. You just have everything you need for an aggressive tri lane, really, and they can really punish either Ace, Windrunner, or even the tri lane that's up against them.
Exactly. And it looks like Genji's probably going to be heading down to that safe lane. He does have quite a lot of regen on him, so definitely going to be the solo laner, as we said. And the Weaver is already going up to top lane, so we will be seeing that aggressive try. The Jacaro, Gyro, and DK all in the forest here. Looks like they're going to try and scout out, stop them from warding that camp. In fact,
yeah, it doesn't really look like GPS want to do it. Anyway, they're sort of moving up pretty slowly. They've got all the wards on the next, but they're not sort of travelling up there to get the pull camp warded. So, I mean, even if they ward it, the Visage and the Nyx can go into there and just play around with the supports who are trying to pull as well. So they might be able to just try and bait out more fighting.
Yeah, contesting the pull is always something that you really want to be doing. We've got some nice mini-map drawing from the teams here. Jesus. But no, contesting the pull is definitely something that you always want to be doing, because you can gain some experience for yourself. It's always hard to come by experience when you're running an aggressive tri lane. You can always kind of try and dual jungle a little bit, but really disrupting those pulls is going to be one of your main jobs to kind of set it up for the Weaver to get what farm that he can, as well as being able to push those creeps a bit into the tower, because if you're not getting kills, you want to be getting a tower, and if you're not getting a tower, you want to be screwing over their lane as best you can.
Yeah, and we see a ward coming out as well on the top lane, just sort of sitting there in the middle. I'm not really sure what the point of that ward is sort of in the middle there. Maybe if they want to see heroes coming towards their pull camp.
Maybe, yeah. The kind of general ward placement is down in this kind of area, just because it sees a little bit more of the lane. You can also spot in TPs.
Yeah, exactly. It just seems a bit odd to put it there, but, I mean, they've probably got a plan.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely part of some sort of design, but we'll see what later on. The Beastmaster actually being pulled a little bit lane as well, really needing to contest up against that Dragon's Blood.
Yeah, he should be able to rush the bottle out. He just needs 2 last hits for it, and he gets it now, so he'll have his bottle really quick, be able to outspam that DK. DK should have it in 1 last hit as well, so it's all pretty even in mid, 3-2 to 4-1. It probably stay even for quite a while, and we see the Visage disconnect as well. So it looks like they're having a bit of trouble from both sides.
Yeah. Just the Bounty Hunter versus Tinker lane. Who do you think has the advantage here?
Well, you've got the laser harass from the Tinker, but then you've got the Janata harass from Bounty, so I think it's all going to come out. I mean, Bounty got the regen pool, so I think he's going to do better in the lane, and once he's level 3 or 4, he can really just force that Tinker off the lane. Higher armor, he's got basically the same base damage, 57 to 60, so I think he'll be alright. The March, if Tinker goes 1 in laser, and then March, and just max laser and March, he should be able to force him out, though. It could really go either way, depending
I think
on what
it
they
really
do
depends
themselves.
on player skill and fortuitous runes and kind of rotations if anyone decides to rotate into the bottom lane as well, because of course Bounty Hunter can just invis Janata Strike all day if he wants to, and Tinker with that basic, as you said, the laser spam can stop Genji from getting farm with the 3-second miss chance and some good denying. So I think it'll be more of a wash of a lane. Tinker can always, I think what he should be doing is leveling up March, because he can always go and stack that ancient camp further back, which used to be basically the go-to strategy on all Tinkers, was to stack up that lane, or stack up the ancients quite a lot, get that soul ring up, and then take out all of the ancients to get early boots of travel.
Yeah, you can hit the boots of travel if you do quite well at it at about 8 or 9 minutes with a soul ring, maybe 10. If you're not so good at it, it takes about 13, 14 minutes, but he should be okay in this lane. It all depends on basically who outskills who, and Bounty having the extra regen is going to really help him.
Yeah, I think with the defensive tri-lane of Potato Stack at top here, they don't have the best tri-lane. You can get some flat cannon harass coming out from Gyro, which is decent, but apart from that, Shackle Shot and Ice Path aren't the greatest for lockdown. If you manage to sandwich them in a spot that really they only have one direction to run, it'll be great, but I think it's not the greatest. I think it's just really they're trying to stay alive. They just don't want to give kills away to this tri-lane up top.
Yeah, and Windrunner has really good harassment, just with her auto attack. Just the animation is so good. And, I mean, she's got low armor, but so does Weaver. Nyx has 3, so he's got a better armor. And then Visage has 0, but if he gets 1 level of Gravekeeper's Cloak, he'll be fine as well. So I do give GPS the advantage with this tri-lane versus tri-lane, just because they have a Visage. That's all they need. It's basically you win a 3v3 if you have Visage.
Yeah, definitely. Just the soul assumption damage is so strong in tri-lanes, and if you look at the stat websites, his metagame relevance just skyrockets around the patch where they increase the golden experience gain for multiple hero kills, and it just kind of brought back all the tri-lanes. I remember when I was watching Comp Dota to begin with, it was all just 2-1-2 or 1-1-2 with one in the jungle. So it's nice to see the tri-lanes back. It gives kind of a lot more depth to these lanes, and Visage just really the king of tri-lanes.
Yeah, it's been a very long time since I've really seen lanes as 2-1-2, or even if you remember way back, you used to have solo safe lane as 2 in mid and 2 in top if you were the Radiant side. That was a very long time ago that used to happen.
I remember in pub games on Battle.net, it was just always 2-2-1. Everyone would fight for that bottom lane.
Yep.
Every hero
Never
was
changed.
a carry.
And then all of a sudden, it became solo mids, and it was the whole game just changed for pubs. It just changed.
It did. Man, that was before anyone bought wards. It was just, what is this? Why would I buy this item? It just gives vision.
Or courier.
Who wants a vision?
I'd never seen a courier. I'd never ever seen a courier in a pub game in Warcraft.
I've got to say, I think the first time I ever saw a courier was when I started playing Heroes of New Earth.
Yeah, I
That was
used
the
to play
only
a
time I
bit
ever
of G
did.
Arena.
Yeah.
I used to play a bit of G Arena, which had some couriers. But the thing in Dota 1 was if your courier died, it dropped the items.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was just, I mean, if they killed it and killed your items, you were just like, alright, GG, I'm leaving. Like, that's it. Done.
Yeah, I just remember that game where I think it was Black or Burning. It was one of the two. They were playing Anti-Mage, and we're going to get something like an 8 or 9 minute Battle Fury. It was ridiculous. And their Tiny just came down in the lane for whatever reason and spotted the courier kind of in this area here, and just killed them off about there, just with the final 2 components of the Battle Fury sitting on the courier, and just everyone in the chat just exploded. It was like, oh my god, best snipe ever.
Yeah, well, that turns a really good Battle Fury into,
Just
for
a
competitive
mediocre
anyway,
one.
into an average Battle Fury.
Exactly.
But nowadays, even in the Chinese scene, you're seeing treads before Battle Furies now as well.
Yeah, everyone just wants to fight early on and just have a bit of survivability because the rotations from support nowadays are just coming insanely early and are very effective. Everyone's just really on top of their game. It's just been getting better and better.
Yeah, especially with the change on 3 or 4 hero ganks before level 5, you get more experience in gold than you used to, and then after level 5 you get less, so the early game really matters a lot more with ganking now.
Yeah, and also being easier to hit level 11. They kind of messed around with the experience gain.
Yeah, with the experience gain. It's not a huge change in experience, but it helps those supports so much.
Yeah, exactly. It just allows that kind of extra little step of aggression. The Dire actually blocking... Oh no, sorry, the Radiant blocking it with the Sentry Ward. It looks like
it's out of range.
The Dire one is just out of range, so range usually going to about there, I think.
Yeah, with the range change, it's made dewarding so much harder. And yeah, he has no version of it, so he won't be able to deward that. He's going to place another one that's out of range too.
Oh, that is unlucky.
Yeah, really, really unlucky for the Chikiro, but I don't think it's that bad for them. I mean, it's definitely going to hurt them a little, but Windrunner can bring this pull camp, and this is just going to create aggression in the lane, pulling it from here. That's all it's going to do.
Exactly, we are going to see Jacko just really wanting that level, just still sitting at level 1. We're going to see a stun come out on the Gyrocopter. It's followed up by the Sakuchi, but the Rocket Barrage is doing a lot of damage. But as we said before, that Soul Assumption just coming through and nuking him down so much that Gyro, with only 560 health, just goes down to the burst. So a nice little
nice engagement. TPS. Yeah, nice engagement. Visage just bringing that huge extra damage nuke into it, and you don't stand a chance against an early game. You really have to be really, really safe, especially with a squishy hero like Gyro. He's got the extra armor, but that doesn't help against Soul Assumption.
Sure does, and we're going to see HeReSY just pop a mana pot as well, so he's going to have enough for another combo in just a few seconds.
Yeah, they might be looking to engage here again.
Yeah.
They're sort of playing quite careful about it, really. Because of the Ice Path, and because Windrunner's now level 3, you got the level in Shackle and the level 2 Power Shot, they can burst out quite a lot of damage. And they could pick off the Chikiro because obviously not having Gravekeeper's Cloak yet, he is quite squishy. He doesn't have much health and he has no armor.
Yeah, and of course if they manage to lock down Beastly at this level, only 550 health himself, and not too much armor to go with it, so he's just going to go down quite easily. And Beastly has been using the Sakuchi to harass. Basically, we see the stun coming out from Nyx, a nice follow-up. And it's going to be the Soul Assumption taking the kill, but they're going to get the counter kill on the Weaver. Visage in a bit of trouble now. Gyro just doesn't have the movement speed to catch up though. The Dual Breath comes out on HeReSY, but he's just going to be able to scuttle away. So a nice counter kill there. They give up a support for a carry, so definitely something that Potato Stack will be happy with.
Yeah, trading a Windrunner to kill a Weaver is always a good trade if you're killing the Weaver.
Yeah, just that Rocket Barrage doing so much damage to Weaver early on really needs to, as I was going to say before the engagement happened, she's been using that Sakuchi as soon as NoOb pops off the flat cannon to get some counter harass and also just dodge the auto attacks that come out of that flat cannon. So a nice little bit of play from Beastly, but because he did that, he was slightly out of position. Sakuchi was on cooldown and the Rocket Barrage was able to take him out.
Yeah, now this defensive tri-lane's got a good positioning. They're actually going to go on the Gyrocopter. They might be able to pick him off here. Nice Shackle to come out. The good Ice Path as well. They're going to kill the Weaver for it. They might trade the Gyro. He just needs a little bit more range, but he's got no mana to catch him off. He does get the mana eventually and kills the Gyro, but they're going to clean up the Visage here as well. The next stun actually stops it, so nice little trade. Carry for carry again. They're sort of just trading now up here.
Yeah, at the moment it's just even. The Visage, a nice little pickup from the Magic Wand, always great in tri-lanes, just manages to pop it off and get enough mana to throw out the final Soul Assumption. He was definitely out of mana by quite a bit before he popped that. So nice little play from Visage, but trading carries isn't the best. It's just kind of really even. It doesn't...
Yeah, and the Gyrocopter got the experience as well, so he comes up on top.
Yeah, exactly.
And the supports are just sitting in the well now, healing up. I'm not sure if they'll go back to this lane or start rotating now to dominate, because they've kind of gone on a back foot here. They can leave the Weaver up there just to get experience and just help the other lanes out. We'll have to see about the rotations. But they've got 3 heroes sitting in base now, all healing. And that Bounty Hunter was forced off the lane by the Tinker, who's got 3 in laser and nothing else yet. He hasn't started skilling any of his other skills.
Holding some skill points out to see whether he wants to go Marshal Machines for those early bots or whether he's going to go more aggressive with the rocket build. But yeah, he's also definitely won that lane in the last inning. It looks like he's going to go to the Ancients now, so we'll probably see March of the Machines leveled up. It looks like he's just going to do some stacking. And they are leaving Weaver alone in this top lane as well.
Yeah, there's no real point being up there anymore. They didn't dominate the lane hard enough early. They were trading rather than getting the kills. So they just have to back off. They're going to try and gank this DK, but they've only got the Bounty Invis. They do have a smoke up, so they will need to use that to get the kill, but the DK's just standing back. He knows something's up because no one's on the map. Even the Weaver's not on the map right now. There are 0 people on the map except Beastmaster.
It's always very suspicious when that happens, and you can see him playing quite well, just sitting defensively at his tower. Does pick up the treads as well, so it's going to be even harder to take him down. The rotation is spotted by the Dire Ward just placed on this top hill here. So they do know it's coming, and their supports are frantically retreating. Windrunner might be a little bit caught out here, but she does still have that Windrun.
Yeah, Windrunner's generally always fine, unless you've got enough magic burst. This bounty is level 6, but they did just spot that change into Invis again, so they're kind of just hanging around getting nothing done, and I feel this is going to really hurt them. Tinker's free farming, Gyro's getting enough. He's obviously not getting what he wants at 8 minutes, only having 23 last hits, but he's doing fine. And Tinker's one bot lane, DK's quite far ahead of the Beastmaster as well, so it looks like they're ahead on all the lanes, and they're just getting everything they need.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely 2-1 lanes in the bottom and the mid. The top lane, I would say they have one just because of the ineffectiveness of the tri-lane. I wouldn't say it was ineffective, it was less of a loss than the other 2 lanes, but yeah, definitely not what they set out to accomplish with the Visage and the next 2 hyper-aggressive supports. They're going to need to do a lot in this mid-game, they're going to need a lot of effective rotations from the Visage, as well as the Nyx.
Yeah, I mean, they just positioned really well, sort of defensively, and Bounty had to give up on that. They didn't get anything from those rotations, just wasted time, really. So, I mean, even the Weaver didn't get any extra experience. He's only half a level above his support, so they really just didn't gain anything, and now they're on a bit of a back foot, and they need some aggression coming out and need to get some kills, or else they're just going to sit back.
And every time this Nyx is stunning, Jacaro just throws out the ice path across the lane, so there can't be any follow-up from the Weaver or the Visage. And if Weaver is on the other side of that ice path, there's no way he can retreat unless he goes completely around the side in this direction. So, a really nice play from Jacaro. He's doing a lot more than I expected him to do in lane without kind of a standard setup stun the way you would normally play him. And Tinker has been stacking up these camps and taking them down, has 4 levels up in the March, so he's going to get to his boots of travel right now. So that's a
really nice time.
Pickup.
It's definitely a good time, especially from denying Bounty the creeps he wanted. He's on 25 and the Tinker's on 50, and it's not even diluted by neutrals because he's killing Ancients. They're worth more. So he's basically at the top of the farm. I'll just check gold per minute. Yeah, he is leading the farm at 327. So he's feeling fine. He's got his boots of travel, and now they can just dominate all the lanes and gather all the map control they want.
And Beastmaster has gone for a medallion as his first item, so getting a bit of mana regen and quite a bit of armor as well, so it's quite a decent pickup. It's going to help in these pickoffs as well. The Jacaro just gets caught out a tiny bit. The Roar comes out, but it comes out on an illusion. Unfortunately, DK popping that illusion rune just at bottom before, and the Roar gets wasted.
And that illusion rune is really tanky. The supports are hitting it, but they're doing nothing because of its 12 armor. It almost feels like they're hitting a real hero.
That's probably why the Roar was expended as well. You'll probably find Visage gave it a hit, and didn't take much damage. Must be the real one. So, as we said before, an early gem pickup would be really good on this DK just because he is so tanky. He's got 3 levels up in that Dragon Blood, very strong.
Yeah, we now see the try versus try still up here. The Weaver's got his level 6, so he'll be feeling a little bit safer with his time lapse, with his Sakuchi. He doesn't have a great mana pool, and I mean, he could get locked down before he even manages to do anything. There's no cooldown yet on Gyro because the supports haven't really been going anywhere, but they've been keeping him alive. They're beginning his farm. He can get his treads now. He's got his Ring of Basilius. He's doing okay. He didn't have a great start. Being only on 29 last hits, the Weaver's actually topping him on that, but it's all sort of trading off. I still feel like they are in the lead.
Yeah, and the Weaver is slightly out-leveling the Gyro, just because of the time that he spent solo for a while the supports were rotating around. So, yeah, it's still this top lane is very hard to call, I think. Once the rotations from the die come out, we're going to see a Gravekeeper's the chill coming out, but they're not going to follow up on it. They know that they can't dive that close to the tower. And Gyrocopters are still throwing out this flat cannon. They're going to catch the Visage and the Ice Path. The power shot comes through and the Rocket Barrage gets the last hit. The cooldown coming out. The Spike Carapace is going to wear out just before. Windrunner trying to last hit the Nyx there. Throws out the power shot, but he's already gone the other way. A nice Ice Path there from Jacaro, who catches the Bounty Hunter. Takes a lot of damage from the shot. Ooh, flat cannon's hitting hard on him. Tinker's TPing in as well. Might try and get the rockets off. He's going to get at least the Bounty Hunter, but the Weaver's still alive. And they're going to turn this into a tower push as well.
Yeah, and while all that was happening as well, the DK took mid tower in his Dragon form. It's really not very hard to take a tower when you've got that poison. The extra 80 damage per auto attack, if you sort of let it run out of time. You can just poke at the tower. Once you hit level 6, go in, hit it, come out. It's just so easy to whittle it down, really.
Exactly, it looks like Beastmaster and DK just dancing around in the forest at the moment. Beastmaster does have 1.3k gold up, so possibly not going for that point booster. He may just not have had an opportunity to go across. Might be going for the Blink Dagger instead, just for a little bit of a cheaper range increase on that Roar. Weaver taking quite a lot of damage. Is going to deny this bottom tower though. Just needs one more hit, and he does get the deny off.
Nice little deny there. Something they really need. This Tinker's got 1800 gold again. I actually wouldn't mind seeing him pick up a Dagon this game. There's the Bounty, there's the Weaver, and even the Nyx. You could just pick them off with a laser, rocket, Dagon. Yeah, it's just free gold.
Exactly, and with the duration on the Dragonite stun as it gets to be leveled up more and more, that Weaver gets easier to take down before he has the opportunity to time-lapse and Sakuchi away.
Yeah, they have a lot of lockdown if they hit them correctly, because the Shackle's 3.75 top level. Then you've got the Ice Path, which is another 2.2. You've got a lot of lockdown, but you have to hit it. They are quite easy to miss. The Ice Path a little bit less, obviously, because it does have that wider AoE.
But it is very telegraphed as well, so it's going to be the follow-up for either a Shackle or a Shield. So
yeah, and if they can grab them in that Ice Path as well, cooldown just becomes so much easier to hit more people with.
Yeah.
We see the Blink Dagger picked up on Tinker, so he's going the full mobility split push.
He sure is, and Bounty Hunter just unable to stand next to this Tinker. Tinker, in fact, blinking forward, throws out the laser, but he's going to have to TP out. No, he can't. He gets a Shuriken toss, so he's going to take a lot of damage here. Is still tracked up and doesn't have the mana. He uses the bottle now. Needs to blink into the trees and TP out, but he doesn't have enough mana for Realm, so he is just going to be able to blink away. Unfortunately, the Weaver not the one to rotate down, as he does need to stick up here.
That cancelled TP really hurt them because they could have killed him. They obviously didn't communicate the fact that Bounty Hunter could Shuriken toss him with the mini stun, and they just missed out on a free kill there. And that would have been really helpful because that Tinker is level 11. Would have been another level on the Bounty, and I think it was the Nyx, I want to say, TPing down. It was the Beastmaster, I believe, actually. They would have got the extra experience, extra gold.
Exactly. Tinker now just sitting in the trees, throwing out the march over this tower, while the Poison Dragon does his job. And the tower's going to go down quite easily. The Roar comes out on the Gyrocopter, but Beastmaster is out and about all on his lonesome. The Macropie is thrown out, hitting on the Nyx and the Bounty Hunter quite a lot. The time-lapse has to be used, and Beastmaster not getting killed off. Of course, that poison damage from the dragon, non-fatal, but he does get the last hit. He has picked up a Shadow Blade. A nice power shot comes through, and the stun as well. A double kill picked up by You Are Amazing with some nice play there, and some backup from Dr. Z.
Yeah, really nice for them. Potato Stack got the tower down, and they got a couple of clean-up kills. They're just getting everything they need, really. The Weaver going back in was questionable to try and pick off that DK, but I mean they made the call and it just didn't work out this time.
Exactly, and you can see that reflected in the experience and gold. Potato Stack are now almost 7.5k experience ahead, as well as being 10k in gold. So that Tinker getting so much farm in that off lane, as well as DK really winning that mid lane. Also has the drums up. I think he did not in fact have a Shadow Blade. It must have been an Invis rune. So but he does have 2.9k gold. We'll probably go for that BKB next. It depends how aggressive they want to be. I think a Shadow Blade would be an equally good pickup at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. DK picks up a Shadow Blade. He might actually get picked off here. He should go down. There's no way he should survive this.
No, it's so many heroes there. They're leaving the courier there. In fact, doesn't go off for it. Uses the magic stick charges to try and get away, but just not enough. Nice path thrown out by Jacaro, but it's too little too late. He did last for a surprisingly long amount of time there. Didn't even have anything like the Shadow Blade and still took almost 5 heroes with quite a decent amount of burst potential in the Bounty Hunter. And to still take him down, it was... I don't think they really have too much of a chance to take him down in the middle of a team fight. The Roar comes out on the Gyrocopter, but Beastmaster gets instantly shackled. The Ice Path comes out as well. Trying to defend that Gyrocopter, but he is going to go down to the Soul Assumption, as well as some nice damage from the Familiars there from the Visage.
Yeah, this is exactly what they need. They've just got 2 track kills, nice pickoffs, both on basically carries, because they are pretty much even in farm. And they actually lose the Visage for it. Nice pickoff by the Tinker. He just does so much burst damage, and he has his Dagon now as well, if he wants it.
And he is just using those the lasers to kill off those Familiars. Of course it does pure damage, so each one is a kill on the Familiars at this level. So it's just a free 100 gold every time he sees one.
It's the same as a OD late game. He just uses one attack and they just die.
But at the moment, Potato Stack really pushing that early advantage. DK did of course go for the drums and Shadow Blade, so definitely going for the mid-game carry build, and they're just taking all these outer towers. Only one more remains on the bottom, and it's giving them a nice gold advantage and just really choking GPS out at this point. There's nowhere that they can really go and farm safely. They have 1 ward out on the map at the moment, and really from you can see the aggression on the Dire's wards, just really wanting to get up close and just choke the life out of GPS at the moment.
Yeah, and Potato Stack are doing exactly what they need to do. They're doing a lot in the early game. Nice blink away from the Tinker. He does get roared, and Bounty's going to go on him. They've got the track, and that's another free kill. And he actually buys back. He's got the gold for it. He spent all his gold on doing that. I'm not sure if it was worth it. They get this tower bottom due to the Tinker's help. It will be, but he bought back. He hasn't really gone anywhere, and he does go mid and pick off the Weaver, so good buyback.
It certainly is. That Dagon and the laser rocket damage just being so much for that against the Weaver early game really doesn't have the health pool to go against it. If he can't get off that time lapse early enough, he's an instant melt. And one thing about... And
this DK is going to take this tower down as well, so they're just getting everything they want. And they're only losing a couple of kills every now and again. They do have to be wary about that though, because of track. It can just give them an advantage that they need. It's just going to be the fact is they can break the base and Visage is dead again.
Tinker just really doing his work here. kphoenix, which I believe is his normal name, just doing a lot of work for this team, but he might go down for his trouble. The Dragon Tail stun comes out on Genji. They're going to follow it up. A nice Ice Path from Jacaro, stopping the hunt. Nyx is going to come in as well, but these heroes are just so tanky. DK is just taking all of these skills and nothing's happening to him. A Dragon Tail comes out on Genji again. The Shackle Shot doesn't latch, but the Ice Path certainly does, and the Bounty Hunter gets taken down.
Yeah, they really needed that kill on that Tinker. He's just getting so far ahead. He might start upgrading his Dagon. I don't think he needs it. It's more of sort of a pubby thing to do, upgrading it. It's not really worth the gold you spend on it.
Yeah, I know. Ooh, it looks like they're going to go for the Roshan here, so DK wanting to possibly add to his tankiness with an Aegis as well, or more likely the Gyro will pick it up, just because he is more likely to go down early on in these fights.
Yeah, he's just picked up his BKB, so he's got the tankiness now for the team fights. He's not going to take any of the magical damage, which is basically... I mean, they don't really have much damage anywhere. They don't excel in physical damage, they don't have much magical damage, except for the early game, and they've got the items they need now to just not take much from anything. DK can start building an Assault if he wants it, give the armor debuff to the enemy, just gets so tanky. He'll have an extra 15, I want to say, armor on top of what he has now. So he'll be in the about 45 armor, so he won't care about anything once it happens.
Exactly, as well as the the armor reduction for taking down the towers, which they're already shredding at this point. So it'll be a great pickup. We take a look at the experience again. It's now almost 12k in favor of Potato Stack, as well as being 17k gold. So they have a great advantage at only 22 minutes in, and they should, I think, with the Aegis, they should be able to just press this into the base. There's not too much point in trying to sit back and farm. Beastmaster does pick up a Blink Dagger, so the next initiation on that Tinker will be slightly easier if he does get in a little bit too close. It might be a nice little surprise pick-off. And it does look like Tinker is upgrading the dagger, now has level 3. Does TP in, but gets instantly hit by the Bounty Hunter, who takes a lot of damage from that Dagon shot. 200 damage, but the Tinker doesn't manage to get the laser off in time. Does get hurt by the Spike Carapace though as Nyx runs through it.
Yeah, it's a nice thing he can do as well. It's just put the Spike Carapace off to catch him off guard when the March is coming through.
They know
and
he's
we see
coming
this
in
Takira
again.
way out of position. But he's not going to get punished for it by the looks of it. And there's another bird dead towards the Tinker. And he'll take the second one too.
It's just so painful trying to play against it. And the Roar comes out from Beastmaster, but there's no follow-up at all. In fact, getting shackled and then just dagging down. I'm not quite sure what he was trying to go for though. The rest of his team were miles behind him and just throws out the Roar. Of course, it's quite a low cooldown spell, so he'll have it about 20 seconds after his respawn, but not too much of a use there. You are amazing, just coming in at the top. Tinker, and it's super aggressive blink forward and just absolutely melts the Bounty Hunter in a second. The Dagon, the rockets, and the laser is just so strong at this point in the game. All the players on GPS just lacking the HP pool to really survive this. Tinker's going to come forward again. He's probably going to take out this Visage. No, the Nyx gets stunned out. And look at that damage again. kphoenix is just ripping these heroes apart. The Shackle Shot comes out on the Weaver. It's not going to latch, and he's just going to be able to Sakuchi away. And now a Medallion being picked up by the Windrunner as well.
Yeah, this Tinker just goes in, gets a kill, goes out. I think he's TP'd home 3 times in a row now and just come in and got a kill every time.
Every time he's just coming through blinking, and look, he's going to do it again. He's going to try and get the Visage, but just not getting the Dagon off in time. The Dagon's... Oh, there it goes. With some help from the Bottle and Soul Ring, he gets enough of the mana pool to go through, and they're going to take the top racks off the back of this as well. The Aegis for the Gyro is still there. The 10-second BKB charge not used either. And Tinker's going to TP in again. The Weaver's going to show himself, and he's... Oh no, the Nyx stun comes out, but there's the Dagon and laser. kphoenix is just dominating this game, does now have a Dagon level 4, and it's just doing so much damage. They just have no answer to the power that this Weaver has, the Tinker has early game.
Yeah, now he's got a Dagon 5. He can kill anyone on their team whenever he likes. And I just don't think there's anything GPS can do now. And he's coming in again.
Every time he just TP's in,
and just get a
blink laser Dagon. They're trying to lock him down at the moment. They're doing a decent job of it, but there you go. The second he's out, he just takes them down, and then he's just going to TP home and then TP back in and do the same thing over and over. It's just a free kill every time.
Yeah, and I just don't think there's anything GPS can do at this point. They might be able to bring him. Honestly, I don't like calling things, but it's 25k ahead for gold and 20k for experience.
They might take down Phoenix here. No, the Weaver has the time-lapse back. kphoenix being 1 or 2 hits off dying, but honestly, it really is, I think. one of those games that just has to be called. Beastly just pops off the gyros. Aegis getting out of there with only 6 HP, but the Visage just going down to a Dragon Tail and the damage that's coming out of a DK. Tinker's going to be TPing back in now. But this Tinker has just played amazingly well, sitting at 14k net worth. He's almost 3 times higher than the highest Radiant farmer. And the good game is going to be called by HeReSY. So the first game will be, well, not the first game, the only game, the qualifier, is taken out by Potato Stack, who will advance into the upper bracket final, or semi-final, I believe.
Yeah, and that's a nice new feature as well, the GG call, and then it ends the game.
It is very, very nice to have. So no admin required and no waiting for plays to DC, it just ends. And that Tinker, kphoenix, 12-1-1. Who needs assists when you're doing all the killing?
Yeah, he dominated lane. He beat that stacked up bounty hunter. He had the extra regen, but he just couldn't do anything. He had the 3 levels of laser and just forced him off lane. And that was, he just sort of snowballed out of control.
Exactly, it's a very well played game by Potato Stack, who will be advancing. I believe the next game for the Uni tournament will be played tomorrow. So we were going to have one game after this one, but it was rescheduled because the teams couldn't make it. So that's going to be it tonight from me, The.Spectre, and from Dan. So thank you very much for tuning in. This has been the Merita Australian Unis Dota 2 tournament quarterfinal game.